Hey guys, it's maths class time. Today we're gonna do end topic 14 and a little bit of lesson 15-1, pages 758 to 762 and 772 to 774. Now have your books open on 758 and 759. Here we go. First of all, let's review some vocabulary words. Equation, equation, equation. Even number, even number, even number. Factor, factor, factor. Multiple, multiple, multiple. Odd number, odd number, odd number. Repeating pattern, repeating pattern, repeating pattern. Rule, rule, rule. Unknown, unknown, unknown. Let's move on. Understand vocabulary. Number 1. Circle the term that best describes 28. Which term best describes 28? Even? Odd? Equation? Unknown. Number 2. Circle the term that best completes this sentence. 4 is a blank of 16. Circle the term that best completes this sentence. Even, odd, factor, multiple. Number 3. Circle the term that best describes 17. Even, odd, equation, unknown. Number 4. Circle the term that best completes this sentence. 9 is a blank of 3. Let's move on. Draw a line from each term to its example. Equation. Which one is an equation? Repeating pattern. Which is an example of repeating pattern? Rule. Which is an example of rule? Unknown. Which is an example of unknown? Let's move on. Use the vocabulary in writing. Use at least 3 terms from the word list to describe the pattern. 50, 48, 46, 44, 42. Rule, subtract 2. The rule of this pattern is subtract 2. These numbers are all even numbers. These numbers are all multiples of 2. Let's move on. Use a rule to continue each pattern and describe a feature of the pattern. Rule, add 2. Write the next 3 numbers. One of the features that the pattern has is the numbers are odd. Rule, subtract 4. What's the next 3 numbers using the rule? One feature the pattern has is the numbers are even. Let's move on. Use the rule to continue each pattern. Describe a feature of the pattern. Rule, multiply by 18. One feature the pattern has is the number of wheels are multiples of 18. Let's move on. Rule: divide by 3. One feature the pattern has is the amount saved is a factor of the amount earned. 存下来的钱是赚来的钱的因数。The amount saved is a factor of the amount earned. Let's move on. Rule: multiply by 4. One feature the pattern has is the number of chairs is a factor of the number of legs. 椅子的数量是它的椅脚的腿，就是椅子的脚的数量的因数。Let's move on. Now let's go to page 760. 1. Draw the next 3 shapes in a repeating pattern. Draw the next 3 shapes in a repeating pattern. The rule is right up, up, right up, up. Draw the 5th shape in the pattern. The 5th shape in the pattern. To decide which shape is the 5th shape, you need to find out the remainder, 50 divided by 3, the remainder of 50 divided by 3. Then we will know what the 50th shape is. Draw the shape. Draw the shape. Let's move on. Write the next 3 numbers in a repeating pattern. The rule is 3, 5, 7, 9. 3, 5, 7, 9. What will be the 100th number in the pattern? To find which number will be the 100th number, we need to find the remainder of 100 divided by 4. The 100th number will be, let's move on. Sam creates a pattern using the rule each layer has 3 cubes. Each layer has 3 cubes. 每一层都有3个立方体。Draw the next shape. Draw the next shape. 好，请画出第4个。This is the first shape. Next shape. And the next shape. And what will the next shape look like? 前面这3个，那第4个会长怎样呢？把它画出来哦。Let's move on. Use the rule to continue Sam's pattern. Use the rule to continue Sam's pattern. The rule is each layer has 3 cubes. Fill in the correct answer. Let's move on. How many blocks are in a 10th shape in Sam's pattern? How many blocks are in a 10th shape in Sam's pattern? In the first shade, there are 3 cubes. In the second shade, there are 6 cubes. In the third shape, there are 9 cubes. What about the 10th shape? How many blocks, how many cubes will be in the 10th shape? How many blocks? 几块积木呢 Let's move on. Football player come out of the tunnel and their jerseys have the number pattern shown below. They follow the rule add 4. Part A. What number belongs on the front of the blank jersey? 这个空白的 jersey 上面会是几号呢？ Use the rule add 4 to find out the number on the blank jersey. Part B. Describe 2 features of the pattern. 请描述这个 pattern 的2个特征。1. All of the jersey numbers are even. 2. The jersey numbers are multiples of 4. Let's move on. 1 dozen eggs is 12 eggs. 2 dozen eggs is 24 eggs. The rule for this pattern is multiply by 12. Multiply by 12. Draw lines to connect the number of dozens with the number of eggs. Okay, let's move on. Use the rule multiply by 6 to continue the pattern. Multiply by 6. Find the answer. Which statement is true? Use the table and the rule in exercise 3. Which statement is true? A. The number of legs in the table will always be an even number. Is it true? B. The number of grasshoppers will always be an even number. Is it true? C. The number of grasshoppers must be odd to follow the rule. Is it true? D. The number of legs on grasshoppers will always be less than the number of grasshoppers. Which statement is true? Find the answer. Choose the correct word from the box to complete each statement that describes the table in exercise 3. First statement. The number of legs on a grasshopper is a blank of the number of grasshoppers. 蟋蟀的腿的数量是蟋蟀数量的什么？蟋蟀的腿的数量是蟋蟀的数量的什么？ Next statement. The number of grasshopper is a what of the number of legs on grasshoppers. The number of grasshoppers is a blank of the number of legs on grasshoppers. 蟋蟀的数量是蟋蟀的腿的数量的什么？蟋蟀的数量是蟋蟀的腿的数量的什么？ Fill in the correct words. Let's move on. Choose numbers from the box to continue the pattern for the rule. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Use each number from the box once. Let's move on. 762. The rule for the repeating pattern is 5728. Write the next 3 numbers in the pattern. Then tell what will be the 25th number in the pattern. What will be the 25th number in the pattern? 25 divided by 4. Find the remainder. And then write the answer. The 25th number will be what? Let's move on. Claire wrote different patterns for the rule. Subtract 5. Subtract 5. Which patterns could Claire have written? Let's move on. Select all the true statement. The rule is circle, heart, triangle. Circle, heart, triangle. The next shape in the repeating pattern is the circle. Is it true? The circle only repeats twice in the repeating pattern. Is it true? The 10th shape in the repeating pattern is the heart. Is it true? The 12th shape in the repeating pattern is the triangle. Is it true? The circle is the 1st, 4th, 7th, etc. shape in the repeating pattern. Is it true? Select all the true statements. Let's move on. The table shows the different number of teams formed by different number of players. The rule is divide by 8. Divide by 8. How many teams can be formed with 40 players? Find the number of teams that 40 players can form. Let's move on. Marcus. Hi, Marcus. Marcus lives on a street where all the house numbers are multiples of 9. Multiples of 9. If the first number on the street is 9, what are the next 3 possible house numbers? If the first number on the street is 9, what are the next 3 possible house numbers? Write the next 3 possible house numbers. Let's move on. The rule is subtract 7. What are the next 3 numbers in a pattern? Subtract 7 is a rule. What are the next 3 numbers? Can you try to describe 2 features of the pattern? Try to describe 2 features of the pattern. Let's move on. Page 772. What are some common geometric terms? Geometric terms. 几何名词，几何学上面的名词。Point, line, line segment, ray, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, and straight angle are common geometric terms. 这些都是常见的几何名词。点 point, point. A point is an exact location in space. Example, a point. This is an example of a point. Draw a dot and write the name of the point. Label. Label is how we write it. Label is how we write it. This is how we write the point. Point Z. Point Z. How we read it. How we read it. Point Z. Next term is line. 直线. Line. A line is a straight path of points that goes on and on in opposite directions. 直线，空间中的两点可以形成一个直线，空间中的任意两点连起来可以形成一个直线。那呢，这个直线是可以无限延伸的，无限延伸的 ，go on and on in the opposite direction. As you can see, the example of a line, you can see 2 arrows on both, an arrow on both ends. 好，点 point A 和 point B 两点连起来可以形成一个直线。那它的箭头代表它是无限的延伸，往不同方向 A B 这两个不同方向无限延伸。How we label it? This is how we write it. 这是我们的写法 ，AB 直线的写法，要有箭头，双箭头。How we say it? Line AB, line AB. Next term, line segment, 线段 line segment. A line segment is a part of a line with two endpoints. 线段呢，它不会只无限延伸，线段不会无限延伸，它是有端点的 endpoints， 它是有端点的，所以它不会有箭头。How we label it? Line GR， 它的记号，它的写法跟直线不一样，直线因为要无限延伸，所以你要画双箭头。线段不会无限延伸，它就停在那里，所以不用画箭头。How we say it? Line segment GR. Our next term is ray. 射线 ray. A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and continues on forever in one direction. 射线呢会有一个端点 ，one endpoint 有一个端点，然后另外一边呢是无限延伸，另外一边无限延伸。Look at the example of a ray. 你看到这个 example 里面这个 end 的地方，它就是 endpoint， 它不会再延伸了。那 O 的这个点它就会无限延伸，所以有一边是 endpoint， 有一边是无限延伸，这就是 ray。How we label it? 只要画单箭号就好。How we say it? Ray and O. Okay, let's move on to angles. An angle, 角度，角 angle. An angle is formed by two rays that have the same endpoint. 角度怎么形成呢？由两条射线共用一个端点所形成。角要怎么形成呢？由两条射线共用一个端点所形成。Angles are named with three letters. The shared endpoint of the rays is the center letter. The other letters represent points from each ray. 角度的念法呢是由三个字母组成的。两条射线所共用的那个端点的那个字母是放在中间的。Okay, the first example is a right angle. Right angle, 直角 right angle. Angle ABC is a right angle. A right angle forms a square corner. 这个图形呢是直角，角 ABC 是一个直角，它形成了90度的直角。Next example. Angle DEF. Angle DEF is an acute angle. Acute angle. An acute angle is open less than a right angle. Acute angle. 锐角小于90度。Next, angle GHI is an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is open more than a right angle but less than a straight angle. 钝角 obtuse angle. 大于90，小于180度。Next, angle JKL. Angle JKL is a straight angle. A straight angle forms a straight line. A straight angle forms a straight line. Straight angle 平角会形成一条直线。Convince me. Complete each figure to show the given angle. 请你根据它下面的文字，把这个角度画完。The first one, obtuse angle. 第一个你要画出 obtuse angle. There is already a ray done for you. What you need to do is finish the angle by drawing the other ray. Finish the angles by drawing the other rays. 这边这4个例子呢，都已经帮你先画好一条 ray。 那你要做的就是把另外一条 ray 把它画起来，把角度完成。Next, straight angle, straight angle, straight angle 平角。Next, finish an acute angle, finish an acute angle. The last one is a right angle, finish the right angle. Please finish your drawing. Let's move on. Question 1. What geometric term describes a part of a line that has one endpoint? Draw an example. 哪一个几何名词呢？它的叙述是说，它是 a part of a line that has one endpoint. 直线它是属于类似直线的一种，那它是有一个端点的。它是直线的一种，但是它有一个端点。Which geometric term describes that? The answer is ray, 射线。答案是射线。Draw an example. You have to draw an example of a ray. 好，这边画的是呢 ray no, ray no, 射线 no. 你可以用其他的字母都没有问题。You can draw a ray at AB using other letters. You can draw a ray using any other letters you want. But remember, you have to make it an endpoint on one end and an arrow on the other end. 但画的时候要注意哦。There should be an endpoint and an arrow. Let's move on. What geometric term describes a part of a line that has two endpoints? What geometric term describes a part of a line that has two endpoints? Two endpoints. 它是有两个端点的，它属于直线的一种，直线的一部分，但是它是有两个端点的，是哪一个呢？The answer is line segment. 答案是线段 line segment. Draw an example. Of course, you can draw an example of line segment using any two letters you want. Let's move on. Which geometric term describes an angle that forms a square corner? An angle that forms a square corner. What is it? The answer is right angle. 答案是直角，会形成一个直角的。答案就是直角。Draw an example. You have to draw an example of a right angle. Let's move on. For questions 4 through 7, use geometric terms to describe what is shown. 请你写出它的几何名称是什么？ What is number 4? This is a line segment, right? It's a line segment. How we label it? Line segment Px. 好，我们这个要怎么写呢？如果写成文字怎么写？就是这样写 line segment Px. Line segment Px. There should be a line above letters P and X. Number 5. What is it? What is the figure you see at number 5? It's a right angle. Right? It's a right angle. How we label it? 我们怎么记呢？记法是什么呢？ Angle PQR. Angle PQR. 怎么写一个角度呢？就是要写一个角的符号，然后再写3个英文字母。然后呢，中间那个是共用点。The shared endpoint Q should be in the center. Q 要放中间。Let's move on. Number 6. What is it? Right. It's a ray. It's a ray. 第6题是射线。How we label it? Ray BY. 怎么记呢？就是要一个单箭头，然后下面也是写2个的英文字母。Number 7. What is it? What is number 7? What kind of angle is it? 第7题这是什么样的角呢？什么样的角呢？还记得吗？ That's right. It's an acute angle. Acute angle. 锐角。Acute angle. 锐角。Acute angle. How we label it? Angle LMN. 一样就直接画一个角符号，然后写3个字母 LMN。Let's move on. Number 8, what kind of angle is it? 第8题是什么角呢？ That's right. It's an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. 钝角 obtuse angle. Angle HOS. Number 9, what is it? That's right. It's a line segment. It's a line segment. 它是一个线段。How we label it? Line segment BD. 记法就是这样子记。Okay? Let's move on. Number 10, what is it? It's a ray. How do we label it? Ray XY. Number 11, what is it? It's a right angle. How do we label it? Angle PTS. Let's move on. For questions 12 through 14, use the diagram at the right. Number 12, name 4 line segments. Name 4 line segments. 请写出4条线段。写出4条线段。Line segment PQ, line segment QR, line segment ST, line segment TU, and line segment QT. I'm giving you 5 examples. These are all line segments. 13. Name 4 rays. Name 4 rays. 写出4条射线。Ray QP, Ray TS, Ray QR, and Ray TU. 好，为什么呢？我都是用 Q 跟 T 来开头呢？注意看，我用 Q 跟 T 来开头，因为呢 Q 这边呢它就是固定的点 ，T 也是。所以呢，我把它当作是 ray 这个射线里面的那个 end point 的那一边 end point， 因为 ray 的写法就是会有一个 end point， 然后另外一个点是无限延伸的，所以呢 Q 就当作 end point， 像这个 P 啊，还有这个 R， 还有这个 S， 还有这个 U， 它们就当作是另外一个无限延伸的，所以呢 Q 都是 end point， T 也是 end point。Let's move on. 14. Name 2 right angles. 写出2个直角。There are only 2 spots that we can see right angles. 在这边的话就只有2个地方我们可以看到直角。I'm giving you 4 examples. 4 examples. First, you can say angle PQT. Angle PQT. 你可以说角 PQT. 这是一个答案 ，or you can say angle RQT, angle RQT, RQT 也是一个答案 ，or you can say angle angle QTS, angle QTS, or you can say angle QTU, angle QTU。好，这些都是可以当做答案直角的写法。Let's move on. Page 774. For questions 15 through 17, use the map of Nevada. Write the geometric terms that best fits each description. Draw an example. 这是一个内华达州的地图，请你呢按照它的题目的需要去写出呢几何名称。15. The route between 2 cities. The route between 2 cities. 任意2个城市之间的路线。任意2个城市之间的路线。请问，任意2个直线之间的路线，它是属于哪一个几何的名称呢？ The answer is line segment 它是属于线段，因为两个都市就是算是 endpoints， 那中间这个路线就是两点之间连起来，那它就是线段 line segment。 Draw an example. Okay, I'm drawing examples of city Elko and city Ely. You can also draw other examples using other two cities, any other two cities, OK? 这边我画的就是这个地图上面有两个都市，一个叫 Elko， 一个是伊利。那你也可以用其他任意的两个都市代换都可以。总之就是一个线段 line segment. Okay, let's move on. 16. The cities. On the map, look at these cities on the map. What kind of geometric terms can the cities fit? 像这个地图上面的这些都市啊，那它们是属于几何名称里面的什么？ The answer is points. 它们都是点，每一个都市就是一个点 ，so they are points. I'm drawing some examples for you. You just need to draw one example, but I'm showing you 3 examples. First, city Reno, point Reno. Next is point Elko. And the last example is point BT. So these are examples of points. You can draw just one. Let's move on. Where the north and west borders meet. Where the north and the west borders meet. 好，这一题的意思是说呢，北方的边界 north border. The red. I have marked the north border in red for you. You see that? West border. I'm also marking the west border in red. See that? 好，他说呢，北方的边界就是这个第一条红色，西边边界，北边边界，西边边界，这样这两条。他说这两条呢，那个 meet 的地方，就是这两条呢交界的地方，这两条线啊，这两条边界交汇的地方。形成的是什么东西？这两条边界形成什么东西 ？The north and west borders, where they meet, they form. What do they form? What's the answer? 这两条边界形成了什么 ？What's the answer? The answer is right angle. Okay, north and west borders form a right angle. Draw an example of a right angle. This is a drawing of the right angle, okay? 18. Write a definition for right angle. Definition of a right angle. What does right angle mean? Draw a right angle. Draw. Give 3 examples of right angles in the classroom. 3 examples of right angles in the classroom. First, the definition for right angle is a right angle has a square corner. A right angle has a square corner. That's the definition. 2. Show your drawing. 3. Give 3 examples. I'm giving you the examples of my opinion. You can write your own examples. The corner of a desk. The corner of a door, the corner of a book, they are all examples of a right angle. You can write your own examples. We're skipping the next question. Okay, let's move on. Which geometric term describes angle HJK? Angle HJK. What kind of angle is angle HJK? Remember? Let's move on. Lisa drew 2 rays that share an endpoint. 2 rays that share an endpoint. Which of the following is Lisa's drawing? Find the answer. Alright, that's pretty much of today's lesson. I'll see you next class. Bye.